So just coming to settle in on our backs, possibly having the soles of the feet together, allowing the hips to open, allowing the chest to open, letting the eyes gently close, and beginning just to slow the breath to bring yourself here onto your mat. Although this is a morning practice and we've recently been lying in bed, I thought it would be great to start in this pose, corpse pose, this Shavasana, to really surrender to the next hour of our practice. There's a lot going on in the world, and I think our minds are very active right now. So if we can just allow ourselves to kind of come into this meditation, this lying meditation, where we can tell ourselves it's okay to just do this next hour for myself, because when I'm my best self, I can then be my best self to those around me. And that I can surrender to release any thoughts. And it's okay for me just to focus on my breath. Your mind will inevitably wander. It's what it's supposed to do. So we'll also take a moment to just dedicate our class, our energy that we'll cultivate here, to anyone that you see that could use this energy today. It might be someone that is suffering, someone that is struggling to see the necessity of some of the current situation, or it might be just someone that you see that needs some love, light, and energy. So that when our mind wanders to all the different things, we can simply bring it back to the breath, or we can bring it to this one person in our mind that we can dedicate this energy and this movement to. So just taking a couple more deep breaths here on your back, keeping the eyes closed and just settling into that practice of mindset. On your next inhale, you can just start to move the fingers and toes and flex and roll a little bit. Eventually working the arms up overhead, coming into a full body stretch from fingers to toes. Bring the legs nice and tight together and stretch the hands up. Deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, we're going to curve and round, bring the knees into the chest, come into that tight ball. On the inhale, lengthen and expand. Exhale, curve and round. We're going to take a couple more breaths like this with your own breath at your own pace. Engaging the core as you come up into that tight ball. And this time as you come into that ball, just slowly let the head drop down, but keep the knees into the chest. We'll hold on to that right knee and extend the left knee straight out. So get that left leg super active so that the heel doesn't touch the ground. Toes are pointing up. Feel the lengthening at the back of the leg, and even get that right foot active too. On your next inhale, we're going to switch. Bring that left leg in, right leg stretch out through the heel, comes almost all the way down to the ground. Inhale, switch. Exhale, lengthen. Move with your own breath. Inhaling exhaling. All right, so we can stay right here, keep moving with the breath, or you can lift the shoulders up off the ground just to engage the core, but you can keep that head on the ground too if you want to be nice and gentle with yourself this morning. We're going to go for a few more deep breaths. If there's any pain in the neck, feel free to drop it down. In 3, 2, deep breath, 1. Bring both knees into the chest, release the shoulders down, rocking side to side, and then let the knees come on over to the right. And bring the legs to a 90-degree angle, open the arms up to a T, trying to push your palms down into the ground so that we keep a nice active chest and arms and shoulders. You're going to inhale here, and then as you exhale, bring the knees through center, let them drop down to the other side. Inhale, exhale, push the lower back down, engage the core, try to keep the knees at a 90. Inhale, exhale. Don't worry so much about the movement and how your breath connects with it. Just keep taking those deep breaths, engaging the belly button towards the spine so you can keep the lower back locked down. Just warming up our spine here. All right, like coming back up to center. Give yourself one more squeeze. We're gonna come up to seated, and you can choose to rock a couple times, or you can just push yourself up. Whatever feels good to you. For some, this rocking doesn't feel great on the spine, so feel free to skip it. Then we'll bring the soles of the feet to the ground, knees pointed straight up, and get that back as straight as you can, gaze straight ahead. And we're just gonna come into a little boat series. So just taking one leg at first, just to feel that connection of belly button to spine, straight back, shoulders down, away from the ears. Then you might come to pointing both feet, a little tap on the ground, or maybe no tap at all, zipping the thighs and the calves together. You might stay right here, or you might try to find that balance. So really let the heart go forward, reaching the chest. Maybe you can release the hands. 2 more deep breaths. Maybe you can straighten the legs. And coming down, crossing the legs, planting the hands, coming into your tabletop at the center of your mat. Just working into the hips a bit, taking any movements that feel good, maybe a little crazy 8s. Drawing and circling the hips. And then coming to find that neutral spine. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Pushing firmly into each finger to protect the wrists. As you inhale, drop the belly, open the chest, gaze comes up. As you exhale, starting at the tailbone, work through the spine, end with tucking the chin. Inhale. Exhale, move with your breath. Feel the full articulation in the spine. Check if there's a little micro bend in the elbows to help you engage your triceps and biceps a little bit more and protect the joint. One more deep breath. Coming back to that neutral spine. We'll just take a little spinal twist. So inhale that left hand up to the sky. And then as you exhale, thread the needle down, drop the shoulder, cheek, ear. You can stay right here. You can walk those right fingertips forward. Maybe bring that hand up to the sky. Maybe tuck it into the hip. You decide. We're here just for 2 deep breaths. Next, inhale, that right hand comes back in front of the face. Inhale, open it up, exhale, back down. We'll take it to the other side right away. Inhale, right hand up to the sky. Exhale, thread the needle through, drop the shoulder. Take your hand variation with the left hand. 2 deep breaths. Left hand comes back in front of the face. As you inhale, bring it up. Exhale, coming back into our tabletop pose. From here, we're gonna just bring our feet back to come into a plank posture for a little bit, just to warm up the core. Now, if you have any pain in the wrist or the thumbs, just bring it to a forearm plank here. And just make sure you're keeping the back nice and straight. Make the neck an extension of the spine, so keep the gaze down in between the hands. And we'll slowly lower ourselves all the way down to the mat, coming into Sphinx pose. So push into the tops of your feet, elbows are directly under your shoulder, gaze is straight ahead so that the chin is parallel with the ground. You'll even feel the tailbone tuck as you push the pubic bone into the ground and your belly button feel like it's lifting off the mat. And then really push the shoulders away from the ears. So just a little micro back bend here, core engagement, heart opening. One more deep breath. Exhale, we're gonna come back into that forearm plank. So you're gonna tuck your toes and push yourself up. Walking up to the tall plank, and then we'll push back to downward facing dog. All right, once you're there, pedal it out. Take any movements that feel good to you in this first down dog of the day. All right, we're just gonna warm up a little bit here before we get into our flow. So we're gonna inhale that right leg up, coming into a 3-legged dog. And slowly bring that right foot back down. Inhale the left foot up, 3-legged dog. So just feeling into a little bit of balancing. Left foot comes back down. Now we're gonna play with coming into a little twist here. So your left hand is gonna reach for your right shin or ankle or outer edge of your foot. If it doesn't make it there, try just placing it under your face in the middle of the mat. One more deep breath. Exhale, take it to the other side. So you can see we're using a little bit of extra upper body today before we get into our flow. And bring it back to that down dog. All right, we're gonna inhale to the toes, exhale to the front of the mat. Let's just pause a second in our forward fold, shake the head out a bit, release the hands, maybe ragdoll a little bit. Inhale, coming into your half lift. Exhale, deep fold. Inhale, bring it all the way up. Taking this first round a little slow. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach it up nice and tall. Exhale, hinge at the hips, diving down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back to plank, maybe lowering the knees down, and then bringing yourself all the way down to the mat. Push the tops of the feet, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower yourself down. Push yourself back, downward facing dog. Two more deep breaths here. Inhale to the toes. Exhale, front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, deep fold, tuck the chin. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up to the top. Exhale, hands to heart center. Surya Namaskar, round 2. Inhale, up. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step walker, float it back to plank. Maybe you can keep those knees up. Slowly lower, keep the elbows tucked in. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, cobra. Exhale, lower down, push yourself back, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths here. Finding that drishti or focal point. So you can just focus on that one spot, staying connected to your intention or dedication for today. Inhale to the toes. Exhale to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, deep fold, tuck the chin. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. Close the eyes. Bring the thumb to the sternum. Root the feet down. Find a nice balance here. Feeling grounded and rooted. Still breathing deeply, ready to flow. We'll take a third and final round here with your own breath and your own pace. Taking your time to complete your third and final round, returning to that posture of stillness, eyes closed. Just a few deep breaths, surrendering to that stillness. Coming back to flow together, inhaling the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinging down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step walker, float it back. Lowering yourself down. Cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, push yourself back, down dog. Inhale, right leg rises into our 3-legged dog. Exhale as you bring that knee towards the chest and through, staying in that low lunge. Coming into our hip opening series. Inhale, sinking the hips, gazing up. Exhale, push the hips back, straighten the legs as much as we can, bowing over that front leg. Inhale to come forward. You can always keep that knee on the ground. Exhale, straighten and push back. 2 more deep breaths like this. Inhaling, coming forward, all meeting in that front lunge. We'll plant the left hand down. Inhale the right hand up to the sky, stacking the shoulders, making sure that right hip doesn't push out but stays in line with the knee and ankle. Twist. Gaze can come up to that right thumb. If you want a little balance challenge. Deep inhale. Exhale, bring that hand back down. We're going to straighten the legs. Walk yourself around. to the middle of your mat, both feet wide, legs are straight. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, deep fold. Bringing the hands can come in between the feet, directly under the under the head, or it can come out to the ankles. Just working on gravity, letting you fold forward, trying to release any tension in the thigh area. One more deep breath. Inhale, bringing the hands back, lengthen the back, and then bring yourself to the back of your mat over your left foot. Inhale, exhale, same thing, other side. Inhale, really sink the hips down. Exhale, lift the hips, push back. 2 more deep breaths. Meeting in that forward runner's lunge, plant the right hand next to the left foot. Inhale, left hand up to the sky. Keeping that left hip in line with the knee and ankle. Gaze can come up to that left thumb. Really push that right hand away like we're doing side plank. One more deep breath. Bringing it back down to frame the foot. Straighten both legs, bring yourself back into that wide fold. Second round, maybe you can heel toe the feet a little bit wider. Maybe you can sink a little bit deeper, bringing either the forearms or the head towards the ground. Couple more deep breaths here, maybe closing the eyes. Next, inhale, flat back. Exhale, bring yourself back over to that right foot. We'll step back into plank and we're gonna pause here for a moment. If there's any pain in the wrist, come on down to the forearms. We're gonna take 5 deep breaths. Two more, you got this. Coming back up to that plank. If you're on forearms, push yourself back. Downward facing dog. Just getting a little extra core and upper body in this morning. All right, inhale to the tiptoes. Exhale to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, deep fold. Inhale, bring the hands all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So we're going to go through 3 rounds of Surya Namaskar B. Now, we'll go through those together, right and left side. All right. Inhaling the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips, diving down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step walk, float it back. Either lower all the way down or coming into your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, lift the hips, push yourself back. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, bring that foot in between the hands. Drop that back heel. Inhale yourself up to warrior 1. Palms pressed together. If it's available, your gaze can follow the thumbs. We're here just for a beat. Exhale, bring the hands back down, frame the foot, step it back. Now here, you have the choice just to push back to down dog, or you can do the flow in between. We all meet in down dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, step it through, plant that back heel, hands together, follow that gaze of the thumb. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Plant the hands, step it back, either downward facing dog or flow. Exhale, lift the hips, Push it back, downward facing dog. Now this is where we take our 3 deep breaths. Reconnect with the breath. Inhale to the tiptoes. Exhale to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Now as we inhale, we're going to bend the knees, come up to chair pose. 1 deep breath here. Exhale, hands come down to the side. So we've got 2 more of those. And I forgot the chair at the beginning, but I'm not going to forget this time. Inhale, sink the hips. Exhale, bend and fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step walker, float it back. Chaturanga or lower yourself down. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, push yourself back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, bring that foot in between, prepare warrior 1. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Plant the hands, step it back, flow or not to flow. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, step it through, plant the heel. Inhale the hands up. Exhale the hands down. Step it back, flow or not. We all meet downward facing dog, 3 deep breaths. Inhale to the tiptoes. Exhale, step walker, float it forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Start to bend the knees. Bring the arms up, chair pose. Exhale, hands come down. You got 1 third and final round. Inhale the arms. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step walker, float it back to plank. Lower it down or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra upward. Exhale, push the hips back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, step it forward. Warrior 1. Exhale, down. Step it back to plank, flow or push back. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, step it through. Inhale it up. Exhale down. Last one here, flow or push back. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths. Inhale to the toes. Exhale to the front of the mat. Prepare for that last chair. Bring the arms up. Exhale, hands down. Bring the palms to heart center. Thumbs to the chest. Close the eyes. Feel the heartbeat. Feel the breath flow. Connect with that dedication or intention. Deep breaths. 2 more deep breaths here. Grab water if you need it. We'll come back to flow together for our standing series. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hinge it down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step walker, float it back. Slowly lower down. Inhale, upward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale that right leg up to the sky. Exhale, come to step it through. We're going to prepare for a high lunge. So this time that back heel will stay off the ground. If you feel really unstable, you can drop it down if you need to. Keeping that heel lifted will allow us to get into that left hip flexor a little bit more deeply. You might feel like you need to widen your stance if you feel like you're on a tightrope. Just heel toe that right foot out of it. And then find a space where you feel the effort, but no pain. And then inhale our arms up. One more deep inhale here. We're just gonna flow a little bit. So inhale, you're gonna straighten your legs. And then as you exhale with cactus arms, you're gonna sink it down as low as you can. Inhale, arms come straight. Exhale, sink it down. We just got one more. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're gonna come into our eagle pose. So we'll take care of the lower body first. That left leg is gonna come forward and wrap around and touch down. Okay, so this is our kickstand version. Left leg is on top of right. All right, next version is you can try to wrap it around or just have it here on the side. All right, once we're there, left is on top of right. So now our right arm is gonna go under our left and we're gonna bring our palms together. Then you wanna try to lift the elbows so that your bottom of your tricep is parallel to the mat. From here, if this does not feel great on your shoulders, you can also just push into the hands firmly, okay? If the wrap works for you, great. See if you can lift that up just a little bit higher, sink a little bit deeper. It's like tuck at the tailbone. One more deep breath. And then we're gonna try to splash back to that high lunge. That is the balance challenge right there. All right, deep inhale here. Exhale, bring the hands down, step it back, either push back to down dog or take the flow in between our sides. All meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Inhale that left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it through. Prepping for our high lunge. Bring yourself up as you find that balance. Maybe you need to heel toe a little bit. Sink into that right hip flexor now. Feel a little tuck of the tailbone. And then bring the hands up into that high lunge. Now we'll begin with a little bit of movement. So as you inhale, lengthen both legs. As you exhale, sink deep into that front knee, cactus arms. Inhale up, exhale down. Find your drishti to help you balance. Inhale up, exhale down. Now inhale up, preparing, right leg comes over left. And you can just kickstand it at the start to find your balance. Sink back into the hips a bit. And then we have right over left. So now left will go under right. Right over left, left under right. Now if it's available, you're gonna lift up that kickstand and try to wrap it around and sink it down. Lift the elbows up. Keep that focal point. One more deep breath. Next inhale, we're gonna splash it up and back to our high lunge with as much control as we can muster this morning. Inhale it up. Exhale, bring it down. Step it back, flow or not to flow. Meeting in down dog, we'll then drop our knees down, sit the hips back, come into our child's pose. Taking about 5 deep breaths here, grabbing a little water if you need it. All right, we've got one more round of our standing flow before we begin to cool down. So we'll do a similar to what we just did, our high lunge into our eagle. We'll hold on to the arms and step it back to our high lunge. And from there, we can play with coming into warrior three. Lots of options for warrior three. You might keep the eagle arms. You might go out to airplane. You might bring the arms forward, but we'll just stand in one last balancing challenge. So if you'd like to just surrender to the mat and to the work, feel free to stay right here in child's pose. If you're ready to take it through one more flow, we'll come up into our downward facing dog. So finding your down dog, let those heels sink down, let the heart melt. Next inhale, let that right leg rise up nice and tall into your three-legged dog. As you exhale, bend that leg, bring it forward, step it in between the hands. Maybe do a little heel toe width here. Try to really get the heel over the ball of your foot as you then come up into your high lunge. And maybe you can be a little bit lower this time. Inhale the arms up overhead, shoulder blades down the back. Nice and tall. Inhale, lengthen nice and tall, straightening both legs. Exhale, bring the cactus arms down, sink it low. Inhale, up. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, up. Exhale, sink it. Inhale, up. Exhale, sink. Now preparing first by bringing that left leg around. Maybe touch it down, maybe you can wrap it. Right arm goes under left, coming into our eagle pose. Once we're there, we're gonna sit the hips back, lift the elbows up. And see, maybe here, maybe you can connect the elbows with the knee for a moment, coming into a tight ball. It's gonna challenge your balance. And then we're gonna inhale, bring it back up, all right? Slowly bring that left leg back into your high lunge. Arms are gonna stay together here. All right, we're gonna inhale it up, lifting the elbows up. From here, we can come straight into our warrior three with the arms interlaced. If that doesn't feel good for you, go ahead and take any arm variation. Slowly coming forward onto that right leg, fire up that left leg, kick back through that heel. 2 more deep breaths here, you got it. I know that right leg is screaming a bit. Next inhale, slowly lower down. Inhale to unwrap those arms. Exhale, hands come down. Step it back, flow or push back. Downward facing dog. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Taking it to the other side, inhale that left leg up. Exhale, come to step it through. Prepare for the high lunge. Bring yourself up nice and tall. Tuck that tailbone a little bit. Fire up that back leg. Sink it nice and low. Inhale, lengthen the legs. Exhale, cactus arms, sink it down. Inhale up. Exhale, sink. Inhale up. Exhale, sink. Really engage the biceps and the shoulders. Inhale up. Exhale, sink it down. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, step it forward. Right leg wraps around left. Maybe you touch it down. Maybe you can keep it wrapped. Left arm comes under right, pushing the palms together, lifting the elbows up. Now we're gonna play with seeing if we can bring ourselves into that tight little ball. Elbows come to knee. Inhale, nice and slow, coming back up. Right leg comes back into our high lunge. Arms stay together if it's available. Inhale, bringing ourselves into that tiny back bend. Exhale, coming forward into that warrior three. Fire up that back leg, kick out through that heel, toes, back toes point down. Try to square the hips, engage the core. One more deep breath. Slowly lower that back foot down. Inhale it up, unravel. Exhale, hands come down. Last flow or downward facing dog. Once we're there, we're gonna inhale that right leg up just for a moment to bring ourselves into our pigeon. So bring that right leg forward. Scoot those left toes back. Try to get the shin parallel to the front of your mat, if you can. If not, it's okay, bring that heel a little bit closer to the hip and put it at a diagonal. Inhale nice and tall. And then as you exhale, let the forearms come down. That feels okay there. Maybe see if you can bring that shin a little bit more parallel and then let yourself completely melt down into the mat. 5 deep breaths here. Reconnecting with the breath. Checking in where the mind has maybe wandered a bit this morning. And bring it back to what you have chosen as an important dedication. Maybe use the visualization of the breath traveling along the spine, using any tools available so that as we begin to cool down, we can keep our minds right here. One more deep breath. I'm going to slowly bring ourselves back up, plant the hands, tuck the toes, and bring ourselves back into a down dog. Inhale, the left leg foot up. Exhale, bring it through pigeon other side. Knowing that this side might feel completely different from the other side, and that's okay. Work those right toes as far back as you can and working on keeping the sole of your foot pointing up. Inhale, exhale, slowly begin to lower down. Take your time. Breathing into that left hip. 5 deep breaths here. One more deep breath. Next inhale, slowly peel yourself back up. Plant the hands, tuck the back toes, bring yourself back into that downward facing dog. We're gonna walk the feet all the way to the hands, coming into a forward fold. Just pedal out the feet a bit. Take the feet nice and wide to the width of your mat. A little sway, side to side, and then we'll slowly come into our malasana or our yogi pose. So as you come to sit down, it's okay if the toes point out. It's okay if the heels are completely off the mat as well. And you're gonna bring the elbows to the knees, push into the hands, and try to sit nice and tall. Bring the crown of the head towards the sky and allow the hips to sink towards the earth. Bringing the thumbs to heart center. One more deep breath here. And then we'll slowly just come to sit back on our bums. Lengthen the legs out into a staff pose. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, coming into your forward fold. Reaching the hands as far as you can forward and then letting them fall where they lie. And release the neck and head. Feeling the heart and the chest reach towards the thighs. One more deep breath. As you inhale, we're going to bring ourselves slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, up and coming all the way on to our backs. You might need to scoot yourself a little bit forward, coming on to our backs. So we'll bend the knees and bring the soles of the feet to the ground, and then bringing your bum as close as you can to the heels. Maybe even your fingers can strum the backs of your heels. You're going to plant the hands, the forearms, the triceps firmly into the ground, and then just tuck the tailbone so that you feel the lower back connect with the mat. Ensuring your knees stay over the ankles. As you inhale, you're going to push the hips up towards the sky as you work the shoulder blades underneath. You can keep the hands right here on the ground, or you can interlock the fingertips to help you get a little bit more height. Keeping knees over ankles, not letting them splay out or fold in. 2 more deep breaths here. Gaze should just be straight up or at the belly. One more deep breath. Slowly release the hands if you have them clasped, and bring the bum towards the heels to lengthen the spine. Just pausing here for a beat, and then allowing the knees to windshield wiper to either side. We'll take 2 more rounds of our bridge pose, and you're welcome to do the same version we've done this first time, but I'll invite you to a couple other options. Planting the hands, planting the feet, pushing the lower back to the mat as you tuck the tailbone. Inhaling, bring the hips up, working the hands together, clasping the hands, and then pushing that fist into the ground so that you can rise the hips up a little bit higher. Taking a couple deep breaths here. If it's available to you, you're then going to rise up to the tiptoes so that you can bring the hands underneath the hip bones, coming into a supported bridge. Once you have the hands there, you can lower the heels down. 2 more deep breaths, whichever bridge you're in. Coming back up to the tiptoes, releasing the hands, slowly lowering the bum towards the heels. Just waiting a beat here, letting the spine neutralize, and then let the knees windshield wiper left to right. Taking our 3rd and final round. If a full wheel is in your practice, you can take it here. Pushing the hands into the ground, bringing that lower back to the mat, tucking the tailbone. Inhale, lift the hips up. Once again, bringing the shoulders underneath, coming to the tiptoes, bringing the hands underneath the hip bone, pushing the hands firmly into the hips, and you lower the heels down. You can stay right here and keep breathing, or you might lift one leg up, pointing the toes, lowering that leg down, lifting the other leg, pointing the toes, slowly lowering that down. Inhale, lift the hips, come to the tiptoes. Exhale, lowering yourself back down to the mat. Pausing for a beat here. Windshield wipering left to right. And we'll bring the left leg in. And then we'll bring the right leg in. And then we'll bring the hands to the knees and circle it around to give the lower back a bit of a massage here. And then we'll bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a tight squeeze. And then coming back onto our backs. We'll finish with our closing series. So we'll take our shoulder stand into our plow pose, fish pose, into Shavasana. You're welcome to use the wall if you want to do legs up the wall, or if you want to walk the feet up to support you in your shoulder stand. The inversion part of our practice is really important for a lot of reasons that I won't get into right now, but even if you just take legs up the wall, it's really, really good for you. So we will bring the legs up to a 90-degree angle, whether you're with a wall or without a wall, pushing the hands firmly into the mat. On a deep inhale, you're going to bring the feet up overhead. And if the feet touch the ground, you're going to bring the hands to the lower back. Either way, bring the hands to the lower back. Feet do not have to touch the ground. You want to start bringing the elbows as close together as you can. And then you're going to lift the feet up, push the hands into the back, zip the legs together, point the toes, engage the core. Gaze can be at the belly button or all the way up to the toes. Keep a tiny micro space in between our chin and our chest. And really work on getting the feet not so much overhead, because a lot of weight will go into the neck. If we really engage the core and point the toes up, the weight will transfer into our shoulders, which is what we should be doing in shoulder stand. Let's take 3 more deep breaths here. All right, so we're going to slowly bring ourselves into plow. So with control, engaging the core, we're going to let the feet fall back overhead. Here's what I was trying to say earlier. Your feet don't have to touch the ground. You can keep your hands right here on your back. But if they do touch the ground, then you can bring the hands back behind you. You can either push into the ground or you can interlock the hands. Either one is fine. We'll take 3 more deep breaths here. From here, we're going to plant the hands and slowly, with control, vertebra by vertebra, lower ourselves down, almost like we're coming into a forward fold on our backs. Once we're there, we're going to sneak the hands under the bum so that as our feet come down nice and slow, we can push up on our elbows. From here, then, we're going to drop the crown of the head back onto the mat. Coming into fish pose, we zip our legs together just as they were up in our shoulder stand. Point the toes. Gaze can be to the tip of the nose, or you can close the eyes. One more deep breath. And first, you're going to lift the head all the way back up. Then remove the elbows so you can bring yourself onto your back. Can take any final postures that feel good to you. I'll bring us through just a simple twist, but if there's something else that you're being called for, go for it. So you bring the knees into the chest. Just take a little moment to massage the lower back. Let the knees fall over to either side. Opening the arms out to a T, taking the gaze to the opposite hand, closing the eyes. Next, inhale, coming back through center. Exhale, bring it over to the other side. Gaze out over to the opposite hand. Next, inhale, coming back through center. And exhale, coming into your Shavasana pose. Letting the feet fall wide, hands fall wide. Taking any props that might help you come into this final pose of relaxation. Releasing the feet, releasing the ankles, releasing the calves, releasing the knees, releasing the thighs, releasing through the hips, letting the hips and the glutes melt into the mat. Releasing the lower back, and the entire core, allowing your breath to return to a natural state. Allowing the chest and shoulders to fall and melt into the mat. Release the neck, release the jaw, release all the tiny muscles in your face, around your lips, your nose, your eyes, and your ears, all the way up to the crown of the head. Allow the breath to be natural and slow, keeping the mind, body, and soul right here in this most important pose of our entire practice. Let this pose serve as a reminder that we have the power to surrender, to be present, and to simply breathe. Slowly begin to deepen the breath, inviting tiny movements into the fingers and toes, rolling wrists and ankles. Eventually bringing the arms up overhead, coming into a full body stretch. And as you exhale, bringing the knees into the chest and rolling on to your favorite side. Pausing here in the first posture our bodies ever knew. Taking a moment here, as we usually do, to find gratitude, connecting with someone or something that brings joy to every cell of your body. But I'll encourage you also today to maybe connect with someone that you know that maybe doesn't share the same thoughts or values as you. Someone who you might view that might be struggling to see or understand something that's needed in the world right now. Because those are the people that we need to send our energy and our love to just as much. For we have to all believe each life is truly precious, no matter our beliefs, no matter our values. As you're ready, bringing yourself up into a comfortable seated posture, keeping those dedications in your mind, bringing the palms to heart center, beginning to rub the palms, creating energy, and we'll transfer this energy over our eyes. May we use this energy to see the beauty within all and the beauty within our world. Bringing the palms together once more, this time transferring the energy over our ears. May we use this energy to hear positive thoughts about all people in our world. And lastly, bringing the palms together once more, this time transferring the energy over our hearts. May we use this energy to love all and to love our world. Inhaling the arms up overhead,
Bring the hands down to heart center. Namaste.